How are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I really, really, really am. It's just such a relief. It's just like I'm a whole new woman. And I tell you what, this has been a horrible, horrible experience, but something good that's come out of it is that I'm so thankful for so many things. I just am. And I'm kinder to people, especially to my husband. I've always been good to him, but I think I'm kinder now. And I'm just so thankful for many things. People have been so good to us, family and friends and people. Hundreds of people have prayed through, mostly through email and Facebook. It's spread the word. My middle son has a huge following on Facebook. He lives out in Franklin, and so he notified people right at first, and they all notified their churches, and then our church, and then my friends' churches in other states that people I used to work with. I mean, hundreds of people all over the country have prayed for me, and I know it helped. I mean, I truly believe it did. But also, the dedication of Dr. Latham, and then in the Center for Disease Control, and then Dr. Sarah Fremont for finding something to help the nausea, which saved my life too. I mean, they both saved my life, both those doctors.
Why don't we, if you don't mind, just to rehash my memory, and it may help me if there's a specific question I want to ask you, but so you said you were in the hospital 3 times. The first time was obviously when you were
2 weeks at the beginning, from October 2nd, from 2 weeks.
So, and you went in October 2nd.
Mm-hmm. Then I was home for 2 weeks. Then, and they thought it got better, but it got worse, so I had to go back in for 10 days.
So that was late October.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you spent 10 days there. And
what
that time brought you back there?
First time was 2 weeks, second time was 10 days. And then the third time was the first part of December for 4 days until they found something to help the nausea, because I got so I couldn't keep any food or medicine down. I was just so sick. I just laid either on the couch or in bed all day long.
How many days did you spend that last time in there? You said 4 days?
Yes, till they found. I went in on Friday afternoon, and Sunday, they finally, the 5th thing they tried, helped the nausea.
The second time you went in, you said you got out. Initially, you went in, when you realized you had this.
Right.
And then you were out of the hospital for 2 weeks, and you went back in.
And then I came home, and I did my own IV medicine, and I thought it was better, but then I was worse. And when I went back in for a checkup, so I had to go back in. It was a Tuesday evening, because I remember a friend's mother died. We went to the funeral home before we went back to the hospital.
And then, as you said, the third time you went in, that was because of nausea, right?
Yes.
So nauseous.
Just the nausea. I couldn't keep anything down.
And throughout all of it, you haven't driven until yesterday, you were saying.
No. From October 2nd until February 14th.
How annoying was that, not being able to drive?
Oh, it's awful, because I'm a pretty independent and busy person. I'm a CASA volunteer, and I like to do a lot of other things too. I help at Second Harvest and some things like that. And it just was hard being home all the time. It got pretty boring.
You said you had to, talk to me about how much you had to depend on other people.
Well, my husband had to, poor thing, he had to take me to the grocery every time, had to take me to get my hair cut and wait, had to take me to the bank. Of course, we went to church together. Oh, where else all did he have to take me? No, to dinner, of course, we went to dinner, but sometimes. But no matter where I went, he had to take me, post office.
What was that like driving yesterday for the first time?
Oh, it was so great. It's like riding a bike. You just get in, you remember.
And so, are there any lasting effects? Like, is there anything else that you're still dealing with on something?
Yeah, I'm still tired all the time, which, but not as bad. But through all this, you're just so tired all the time. And so I'm glad that that's slowly going away.
But you really feel like you're back to normal again, I'm hearing from you.
Real close, real close. It'll probably take a couple weeks for this all to get out of my system, but I'm real close to
And you
being
said
normal.
Tonight you're taking the last pill, is that right?
Yes, and then we're meeting my middle son and his wife and 2 boys at El Chico for dinner, and we're celebrating this and his birthday and her birthday. So it's going to be a nice evening.
What have you learned from this experience? Have you learned anything?
Yes. I didn't know how many people really, really cared for me. I had no idea. And it was just awesome but humbling experience, but really nice to know.
You know, I was telling them on the way down here that previous when I talked to you, you were saying there were times in this that you wanted to die. This was that bad.
I did.
Talk to me about that and what kept you alive.
I was so sick in the hospital that I didn't care if I lived or died. There were little days I felt like that way, and it was just, I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. I mean, you know, you're a Christian person and you don't want to take your own life, but you were so sick you didn't want to live.